I'm excited to introduce you to a natural science you probably never have heard of: human biology. My name is Martin Grimlich. Human biology is not just yet another highly specialized academic pastime. Human biology is the one science that really concerns you every moment of your life. Because you are human. The introduction touches three topics. First, we have a quick look at what human biology is and where it comes from. Next, we look at the quest of human biology. In other words, we explore the purpose of the science, the fundamental questions it answers, and the scientific process to do that. And finally, we look at some benefits the science offers to us humans and to humanity. Let's dive in. What is human biology and where does it belong in the array of sciences out there? The mother science of human biology is biology. The name derives from bios, the Greek word for life. Biology is simply the natural science of life. Biology explores the ecology, the interdependencies and interplays of life organisms in all dimensions. The dimensions of cells, organs, organisms, and species, and their interdimensional interplay with their environment as integral parts of the ultimately one life organism on the planet called nature. Human biology is a branch of biology. Human biology focuses on an extremely recent and by no means established evolutionary newcomer to the play of life, the mammalian species Homo sapiens, and the life and thriving of individual humans, which are, like every other living organism on the planet, at all times integral part of, continuously interacting with, and non-negotiable at all times subjected to the laws of nature. Human biology is the natural science of human life. As an integrative natural science, human biology has seen its most advanced days in history some 23 centuries ago, during the classical Greek period of highly advanced sciences called natural philosophy, the integrative study of man, nature, and the cosmos. The most prominent of these great Greek scientists was a man called Aristotle. It is in his footsteps modern human biology is walking. In the turmoil of the decline of the Roman empires, Emperor Constantine the Great in the 4th century AD imposed a constructed political religious power system on the empire that was in severe conflict with scientific knowledge about human life, nature, and the cosmos. Natural philosophy was declared heretic and became prosecuted. Expertise in human life was taken out of hands of science and was taken over by political religious authorities. For the next 1700 years, until very recently, it became extremely unhealthy to study human life scientifically. In fact, it is still regarded to be heretic by many today. As a complete, integrative science, human biology has yet not returned to Western education. That is probably why you may never have heard of. Since just a few decades, and still widely ignored by mainstream academia, modern human biology revives and continues a non-judgmental and consequently logical natural science about human existence on the planet. Human biology is the one and only natural science out there that consequently, logically, and scientifically studies human life, human health, and human behavior. In other words, human biology is simply the natural science of a healthy, sustainable, and thriving humanity. Now that we have an idea what human biology is, let's have a look what the science does. The quest of human biology. In other words, what does human biology explore and what does it deliver to humanity? The quest of human biology is as simple as it is fundamentally vital. Human biology finds answers to the following 4 questions. What are optimal human life conditions? What is an optimal human lifestyle? What is optimal human health? And what exactly is an optimal human behavior? What are the conditions that allow a human organism most effortless, continuous interaction with environment for an optimum individual well-being and peaceful coexistence? With these fundamental life parameters determined, human biology creates a scientific profile of optimal conditions and optimal lifestyle that allow optimum health and well-being for individual humans and the species Homo sapiens as a whole, living off of and being part of the planet Earth. If you do occasionally watch TV, you may notice that such a scientific profile is urgently needed. The profile may serve education, governments, leaders, economists, planners, designers, the medical community, etc., and last but not least, you, as scientific logical guidance to act responsibly towards a healthy, peaceful, and thriving humanity. Do you wonder why nobody ever created such a profile before? So do we. It's about time to do it. As a first step, let's establish a scientific inventory. Let's look at what useful information regarding human life the many specialized sciences out there already provide. We do know quite a lot about the ecosystem of our planet, of that we humans are integral part. We know the most fundamental laws of nature: physics, chemistry, electromagnetics, astronomy, earth sciences, botany, zoology, climatology, etc., etc. What is our scientific understanding of us humans? We have quite some useful information from fractal human sciences, such as anthropology, paleoanthropology, sociology, genetics, etc. What do we already know about the human organism itself? We do have an enormous amount of information about the anatomy and physiology of the human organism. More specific information is researched daily and is by all means overwhelming. Anatomy, however, answers only the question, how is the organism built? Anatomy is simply a huge catalogue of building parts of the organism, detailed information about its structure. Physiology, on the other hand, answers only the question, how does it work? Physiology is simply an overwhelmingly huge catalogue of biochemical and biomechanical processes within a human organism. Together, anatomy and physiology are the knowledge tools of humanity's body repair department, medicine. Medicine declares and defines sicknesses, diseases, and malfunctions, and attempts to repair them. When it comes to human health, however, medicine cannot provide any information. The closest medicine ever can come to individual health is not to find any symptoms. So, what do we scientifically really know about human health, the quest of human biology? Sadly, based on anatomy and physiology alone, so far we know nothing. To continue our inventory, what do we scientifically know about human behavior? After almost 2 millennia of scientific dark ages, barely 100 years ago, people started to think again about human behavior. However, by looking at anatomy and physiology, they simply could not find any clues. They mused there could be something else, a mysterious yet to be defined and discovered entity they named psyche. This psyche is assumed to drive human emotions and behavior. An academic activity evolved, psychology, which theorizes about psyche. A complex structure of this psyche is assumed which allows classification of behavior and definitions of terms such as personality or character. Eventually, humanity's psyche repair department evolved, called psychiatry, which declares behavioral syndromes, spectrums, disorders, dysfunctions, and attempts to repair them. However, psychology and psychiatry cannot scientifically explain behavior. The closest they can ever get to optimal behavior is declare it as normal and find no disorders. So what do we scientifically know about human behavior, the quest of human biology? Psyche is a yet-to-be-confirmed theory. It is no science. Anatomy and physiology reveal no more clues than 100 years ago. Sadly, when it comes to a scientific understanding of human behavior, the present sciences out there can provide nothing. Let's summarize existing scientific knowledge about human life. We have abundant isolated knowledge about specifics of the environment we are part of and of its systemic mechanisms. We have overwhelming knowledge about structure and biomechanics of the human organism, and some fractal knowledge about its evolutionary history and cultural diversities. However, when it comes to human health and behavior, we scientifically know nothing. There is indeed some important scientific work to do for human biology. Here is how human biology goes about it, the scientific process. In order to determine optimal human life conditions and an optimal human lifestyle, we need a scientific understanding of health and a clear scientific definition of behavior. Human biology defines health as follows. Health is not something an organism has. It is a scale. Health is a scale to measure a momentary actual physical state of the anatomy of an individual organism compared to the momentary evolutionary genetic blueprint of the species. This shape scale ranges from ideal to non-functional. As long as an organism is alive, its momentary health score is always somewhere on that scale. The materialized anatomical structure of any living organism, including humans, is a completely unstable biochemical balance. In other words, the moment a living organism looks away for just a split second, its organism starts instantly to disintegrate, forced by the biochemical and physical laws of nature. Every living organism on the planet, plants, animals, and of course humans, must continuously counterbalance this disintegration actively to self-maintain their physical form. Every organism does so by employing its physiology, whose operational range is limited by the genetic anatomical blueprint. In other words, maintaining its anatomy within the range of the health scale requires continuous activity of the organism, all life long. This continuous counterbalancing activity is the biological definition of behavior. In biological terms, behavior is the activity of counterbalancing, the activity of living. It includes much more than psychological classifications, and it is strictly logical and completely non-judgmental. Activities such as heartbeating, breathing, digesting, sleeping, growing, healing, learning, etc. are all behavior that is required to maintain the anatomical form. The biological term behavior includes also any form of interaction of the organism with its environment by moving around, communicating with other humans, etc., etc. With this, human biology has established a neutral and scientific biological definition of health and behavior. Now we can set about exploring a human organism, human anatomy and physiology in function, performing the activity of living. To do that, we need to answer a few questions. Looking at anatomy, we need to understand why, to what purpose is something, for instance an organ, there. What is required so that it can optimally function? And what is its range and optimum of performance? Enters the logical science of purposes, functions, and performance. Aristotle again. This science is called ergonomy, from the Greek word ergon, meaning purpose, function, achievement. Ergonomy is strikingly absent in present-day education as well. You probably also never have heard of. Ergonomy studies the question why, to what purpose, something is there or something happens. Ergonomy is not to be confused with physiology that explores how, by what mechanics, something happens. Ergonomy is absolutely required to understand anatomy and physiology in function. Ergonomy is the logical mathematics of natural sciences, so to speak. The science makes logical sense of observed information, detects causes and effects. It explores biodynamics, interactions and functional interdependencies of individual cells with their direct environment and their interdependence with their next higher and lower dimensions, of organs and their functional interdependencies and role for the organism, and its dimensional interdependencies with its immanent environment, the functional dependence on members of the same species, and ultimately the species dependence on the ecosystem of the planet. With a scientific definition of health and behavior, and by considering the ergonomy of human anatomy and physiology in function, we can now start profiling optimum life conditions and an optimum lifestyle for human organisms. We start with collecting information from other natural sciences. First of all, the fundamentals: physics, chemistry, biochemistry, electromagnetics, and the physics of data processing. To understand interactions of the organism with its environment and the ecosystem, we get information from geography, climatology, biography, zoology, botany, ecology, etc. To get an understanding of interactions with other humans, we consider comparative behavioral science, evolutionary biology, paleontology, anthropology, ethnology, etc. And of smaller dimensions such as cell biology, epigenetics, etc. With this relevant scientific information, human biology makes practical sense of sciences and connects the dots to human anatomy and physiology performing the activity of living. First, we profile the primary needs. What resources does human anatomy and physiology require to function? What energy sources, for instance light or temperature, are required? What building materials and fuel? That is where, for instance, nutrition, water, air, etc. come in. And of course a non-material, invisible resource which is absolutely vital for any living organism and which cannot be observed but only ergonomy can detect: data, information. Next, we create an ergonomic profile of human anatomy and physiology, its action potential. What can a human organism by design do to collect the resources and process them? That's where activities such as digestion or metabolism come in. What is the potential of a human organism to grow, self-restore, maintain itself? And of course the most vital potential of all, the potential to do data processing, that ultimately allows a human organism to perform the activity of living, the action potential of self-management. That's where things like circadian rhythms or activities like sleeping and digesting come in. And of course the brain, the entire central nervous system to be precise. In other words, we profile human behavior potential. The action potential describes the range of behavior the organism can execute by design. In other words, the action potential profiles the designed counterbalancing capacity of a human organism. Since the required resources are mandatory, we now need to profile a livable environment which allows the limited human action potential to get at all it needs. No matter whether the environment is natural or artificial, as a result of self-domestication, it must of course contain everything required in the right composition, quality, and quantity. It must also not contain components the human action potential cannot handle. We call those toxic. We profile climate, flora and fauna, the food sources, and specific locations that provide, for instance, drinking water, etc., within reach of the human action potential. And the most significant component of individual environment are the human's social environment. In particular, the most crucial factor, density. Optimal density is non-negotiable and is of course, like that of every other species on the planet, exclusively dictated by anatomy and physiology and the resulting action potential. Neither cultural conditioning nor economics or politics can do anything about it. Human action potential alone decides whether other humans can be cooperators or must be life-threatening competition. It is a matter of natural law enforcement. Density is the most crucial environmental factor for peace, individual health, and sustainability of the species. An optimally composed environment, including optimal density, provides conditions that allow a human organism to perform the continuous activity of living with minimal effort. In other words, to maintain optimal health with optimal behavior. The scientific, functional, and contextual profiling of human anatomy and physiology allows human biology to answer its quest and to create an urgently needed, down-to-earth, logical, scientific profile of optimal human life conditions and an optimal human lifestyle. A profile of non-negotiable conditions that allow human individuals and humanity as a species peace, health, and sustainability. Let's look at some benefits human biology can provide to humanity. Who can possibly benefit? First and foremost, you. Every moment of your life, in absolutely every situation, awake or asleep, sick or healthy, no matter what you do or don't do. Because you are human. Because you always must feel, think, and behave human. Human biology can provide you with conscious understanding of your own body and mind, the living vehicle of your soul. Human biology can show you how to optimally care for your living self. If there is any science out there that truly is about you, it is human biology. Who else can benefit? Humanity's life improvement department called education. Based on a scientific understanding of health and behavior, education can include teaching biological life skills. It will allow future generations to better understand and take care of themselves and their environment right from the start. Greatly benefit from human biology can also humanity's repair department, medicine and psychiatry. Human biology can provide them with functional understanding of a human organism in context. It allows them to expand from reactive symptom fighting to a proactive systemic understanding of causes and effects, an understanding of anatomy and physiology alive. Human biology can provide vital information that is presently missing to global organizations concerning themselves with humanity, such as in particular the World Health Organization, WHO. The WHO is presently confined to collecting global information about sicknesses, epidemics, and possible treatments. It is presently not the World's Health, but rather the World's Disease Organization, with a scientific profile of optimal human life conditions and a scientific understanding of human health and behavior. Human biology can assist the WHO to start living their chartered purpose as the World Health Organization, which provides governments, leaders, economists, community planners, designers of living environment, developers of technology, etc., with practical, logical, scientific guidance how to lead their societies to become healthy, thriving, and sustainable human communities. To become the world's organization of peace, health, and sustainability. There is no present human activity whatsoever that could not be improved towards better individual and social quality of life by consequently respecting the biology of being human. You are obviously interested in the well-being of us humans, else you wouldn't have followed me all the way through till here. Let me conclude this introduction to human biology with the following heartfelt invitation. Are you, like more and more of us, interested in making the world a better place? Well, over the past 3.5 billion years, the world has proven to be an absolutely perfect place. The world quite obviously does not need any humans to make it better. There is not the least scientific doubt that the world can do just as well without us. The problem isn't the world. The problem is much, much closer to home. There is hardly any hardship any human on this planet has to deal with today that is not exclusively man-made. So instead of us humans trying to make the world a better place, how about using our combined knowledge intelligently to become a sustainable species that fully understands that we humans are not individual inhabitants of a planet, but at all times, with or without technology, non-negotiable, integral parts of its ecosystem? In other words, may I invite you to assist us to become a species the world can be proud of. A species whose members know and respect the requirements, action potential, and limitations of their own organism, and intelligently live optimally in peace, health, and sustainability. This concludes our introduction to human biology, which has been created for you by the Institute for Human Biology in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. My name is Martin Gremlich. It has been an honor to be your presenter, and I'm immensely grateful for your interest in the well-being of us humans. Thank you for watching.